Hello and welcome back to Brainzone, the channel of interesting facts and information. The Aztecs are best known for their enormous pyramids, fierce warriors, and grisly human sacrifices. However, a closer look reveals a remarkably complex civilization that flourished until the arrival of the Spanish in 1519. Aztecs, a term popularized by Europeans in the 19th century, referred to themselves by other names, including the Mexica or Tenochtitlan. They weren't especially long-lived civilization either. The Aztec Empire was founded in 1428, less than 100 years before it ended. Aztecs derives from a series of colorful, hand-painted manuscripts made from stretched deerskin or fabric weaved from agave plants. The works, similar to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics or modern-day comic books, featured a combination of writing and art to depict Aztec daily life, centered on its capital of Tenochtitlan in present-day Mexico City. We have more exclusive content for you, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more up-to-date and evergreen content. Just one click on the bell icon and stay with us. Now, let's begin with the top 10 amazing facts about the Aztecs. Fact number 1. That old song and dance. Aztec have a well-earned reputation as skilled fighters. Moreover, they would pummel their enemies while singing, dancing, and waving large banners, all of which gave new meaning to the term war party. The use of musical instruments also held particular importance on the battlefield to help organize soldiers and send messages of enemy activity. The high-pitched sounds from the pink-hued conch shells and the beating of drums helped to create a thunderous cacophony, made even louder with Aztec war cries. According to one Spanish conquistador eyewitness, while they are fighting, they sing and dance, and from time to time utter the most frightful whooping and whistling in the world. And it is a certain fact that to anyone who had never seen them fight before, their yells and manly appearance would be intimidating. Number 2. Same-day delivery. Fast. The last Aztec emperor, Moctezuma II, supposedly enjoyed a daily feast of 200 dishes, including fresh fish from the Atlantic coast, located 250 miles away. To accommodate the Tlatoani, or one who speaks, a team of relay runners served as couriers, a task underscoring the Aztecs' zeal to devotion and their extraordinary talents for long-distance running. Moreover, the route started and finished at an altitude of over 7,000 feet, making the feat much more impressive. Aztec runners were also responsible for communicating important news. Placed at designated stations every 2.5 miles, the fast men ensured rapid delivery and response, especially on the matters relating to military threats. When conquistador Hernan Cortez first arrived near Veracruz in the spring of 1519, authorities were alerted very quickly. Fact number 3. Paddle power. The main urban hub operated within a sprawling network of bridges and causeways connected to the mainland. A series of canals created additional access to all sections of the city. Canoes were constructed from a single tree trunk ranging from 14 to 50 feet high in length. A skilled craftsman could produce a finished piece in about a week and typically featured a shallow draft and a square bow. According to the Mendoza Codex, larger vessels could support a load in excess of several tons, requiring both skill and muscle to power the tens of thousands of watercraft in use on a daily basis. Poles and paddles were also carved from wood. The Aztecs believed the god Opoctli, derived from a rain deity, invented the elongated tool as a divine means to propel their boats. Fact number 4. Superfoods for super people. Barrels of ink have been used by historians to write about the Aztecs' sophistication in a wide range of fields. Advanced nutrition can be added to the list. Nutrient-rich spirulina was used in spicy, chili-flavored sauces and served with staples such as corn and tortillas, helping fuel the aforementioned Aztec prowess in fighting, killing, balling, paddling, running, and etc. Known to the locals as tequitlatl, the blue-green algae was harvested from lakes in a valley of Mexico. It would then be sun-dried and cut into bricks, allowing the preserved foodstuffs to remain edible throughout the year. The aquatic plant contains chlorophyll, high in protein and an essential amino acid, linolenic acid. It also yields an elevated content of vitamin B12, beta-carotene, and a variety of other vitamins, including thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin. Fact number 5. They disapproved of drink, but venerated drugs. Because drunkenness was seen as destructive of social order and harmony, drinking was largely prohibited. The fifth cup of beverages like pulque, a type of agave beer, was said to be especially troublesome. Only those who could be trusted, like the nobles and the priests, or those who had some medical need for alcohol, like the elderly, were permitted to drink it at all. Psychedelic drugs, or plant medicines, on the other hand, were held in extremely high regard. Peyote, or peyote, was used for visions and prophecies. Ololeuki, or morning glory, was used as an intoxicant in ceremonies, and Teotihuacan, or psilocybin mushrooms, were considered to be the flesh of the divine, reserved for the holiest of religious occasions. Many other plants, including papilt, zintzintli, possibly salvia, were also used by the Aztecs. So guys, hope you're enjoying the video. If you are, don't stop yourself to subscribe to Brainzone. Just click on the bell icon to be notified when the next video is live. And keep watching. Fact number 6. Their lives were determined from birth. The Aztecs saw childbirth as a battle and the mother as a victorious warrior. The baby, meanwhile, was seen as her captive, a prisoner taken in war, which is apt considering they didn't believe in free will. The life chance of the average Aztec was determined not only by sex and class, but by a range of other factors entirely beyond their control, from spiritual forces residing in the body to a complex system of astronumerology. The anthropologist Jacques Sustel put it, each newborn Aztec was inserted automatically into the grasp of the omnipotent machine. The only way to mitigate such an unfortunate fate appears to have been a lifetime of penance and piety, including nighttime worship, hard work, fasting, cleanliness, and order. But the odds were stacked against them. Fact number 7. Their worldview was more rational than the West's. While European astronomers were getting burned at the stake for heresy, the Aztecs were developing a sophisticated cosmogony based on mathematics, astronomy, and ecology. Like many Eastern philosophical traditions, like Hinduism, Buddhism, and Taoism, theirs was a holistic worldview. Unlike the Catholic conquistadors, they didn't see a world in terms of good and evil. They saw it more scientifically as a balance of order and chaos. Although missionaries attempted to align their own concept of sin with the Aztec concept of filth, or Tlachtecali, it wasn't directly comparable. For one thing, the Aztecs' avoidance of Tlachtecali was a pragmatic, not a faith-based concern. The consequences of bad actions were observable in this life, not deferred to the afterlife as punishment in the hereafter. Indeed, the nature of the Aztec afterlife was determined not by the way one lived, but chiefly by the way one died. Fact number 8. Everything was next to godliness. Another thing the Aztecs had in common with the Hindus was their belief in a pantheon of gods, not as standalone entities, but as facets of an essential unity. In addition to the major deities, including Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent who recreated humans, Huitzcoatl, the great warrior god of the sun, and Tlaloc, the god of rain and water, the Aztecs recognized well over 1,000 other gods, most of whom were associated with farming and other important aspects of Aztec life. But some were extraordinary to say the least, whether because of their long and complicated names, like Tlalascamplateclati, the Lord of the House of Dawn, or because of what they represented. The Aztecs worshipped the god during the festival of Tlalexpanzalitzi, namely by flaying the skin of their bravest captive, painting it yellow, and wrapping it around somebody else. This person would then be treated as if they were the embodiment of the god. Fact number 9. They sacrificed humans, but don't hold it against them. There were 18 months in the Aztec calendar, and almost all of them called for sacrificial rites. From Altgajalo, February to March, to Izcalli, January to February, men, women, and children were slaughtered in elaborate ceremonies, mostly focused on the removal of their hearts. According to the missionary Bernardino de Sahagún, many were flayed, burned alive, and hunted like animals as well. Nowadays, in agreement with the conquistadors, most of us would find the practice abhorrent. However, as with any moral evaluation of the past, and especially of an alien culture, it's important to remember that the Aztecs had no fear of death, and they were under no illusion that life was more important. Furthermore, sacrificial victims were treated with respect, even reverence, and were said to be honored in the afterlife. It's conceivable then that many even welcomed such a fate. In any case, Spanish chroniclers, many of whom who had never even been to the New World, exaggerated the numbers as well. The friar Diego Duran, for instance, claimed that 80,400 people were sacrificed over 4 days at the Templo Mayor, but that would have meant 14 more deaths per minute, more deadly than the record of Auschwitz. Take me out to the ballgame. The Aztec ballgame Ulamaliztli played an important role in society both politically and spiritually. The physical contest also provided a thrilling spectator sport, showcasing several elements found in soccer and basketball. Additionally, large sums were waged on the games and intense rivalries between cities, often leading to career-ending results, i.e. death, of the coaches and players. Over the years, scholars have debated which team was actually eliminated. As we mentioned before, sacrifice was considered a noble honor. Nonetheless, it was truly a sport to die for. Teams competed on a rectangular court made of stone measuring 100 to 200 feet long, known as tlaxli or tlaxco, featuring ornately carved stone rings. Players attempted to place a hard rubber ball, or uli, through a stone hoop, an extremely difficult feat that would signal the end of the game. However, points could also be scored involving markers on the walls surrounding the court and other skilled plays. Spectators viewed the action from an arena often adorned with skull racks of previous sacrifice victims, a macabre hall of fame that players may have wanted to avoid entering. The rough, fast-paced sport required the ball to remain in play using only the head, elbows, knees, and hips, and players wore deerskin guards for protection against injuries, as well as constantly hitting the ground to prevent the ball from landing. It's also worth noting that the game's origins date back 3,500 years to the region's mother culture, the Olmec, or the people of rubber, making it the oldest recorded ball game in the world. So these were the top 10 amazing facts about the Aztecs. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you can join the Brainzone squad and be part of the channel. Thanks for watching the video.